There he is. Down there pretty deep. Got him with a 3/4 ounce jig. It's Dalton, everybody. How you doing? Got me a fat one here. Pull him in. Yeah, he was down there pretty good. Black and blue jig. Nice, nice. Chunky bass. You look how pale. Fish was down there pretty deep, about 30 feet. Got a bite over here and missed him. Throwing a black and blue 3/4 football jig to get down in that deeper water. Be trying a few things today, but as long as that jig bites on, I'm gonna stay with it. There he is. Feels like a nice fish. I don't know. We'll have to. He's chunky. Strong and chunky. Pretty nice bass right here. Pretty nice bass. Come here, buddy. Oh, yeah. I'll take him like this. I'll take him like that. Take and pull that rod down like that. I'm plenty happy. Pull my drag out too. He's gonna go 2 1/4, 2 1/2. At least he feels like it. Really beautiful fish. 3/4 ounce jig. It's been an interesting day. I've gotten a lot of bites on this jig. I don't know what it is with me today. I've also missed a lot of them. So, I don't know, just one of those days. It happens. I've probably missed today about half my bites, and I think what it is I'm just not paying close enough attention. I get to watching what other people are doing because there's some other people out here today, and I'll be watching them and fishing, and I get a bite. Oh, there he is, and I wait too late to set the hook. Another nice one. Another nice one right here. And that's what the jig does for me. Is I get up to a little bit bigger fish will bite on that jig. He's not huge, about maybe 1.5 pounds, 1.75 pounds, but still a pretty quality fish out here. You know, just a nice chunky bass. I found out what was going on. I was getting quite a few bites on this jig, and I wound up catching one about that long, literally. The jig was almost as long as the bass, and I realized that's what I've been missing. I've been missing those bites, which I'm fine with. I think what they do, those smaller ones, especially with a heavier jig like a 3/4, is they'll pick it up, they'll feel the weight, and they'll spit it out. And I take an extra couple of seconds when I'm setting the hook on my jig, and so of course I'm going to miss them because they're going to spit it out at that point. But the more quality fish, they don't spit it out as quick. So it's been working out pretty good. Fishing a lot of rock, and just finding those rock piles in the water and just tapping this thing over the rock piles has been the key for me. I'm going to sit down and talk to you about this here in just a little bit. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Let me just kind of go over the day and how it went. Seemed a little slower today. Threw the jig and worm around a couple areas, was getting quite a few bites on that. The biggest thing I wanted to do today, though, was throw a jig. And I wanted to throw a 3/4 ounce. And when I get up to a 3/4 ounce jig, for me, it's always going to be a football jig. I throw other ones, and I'll talk about that here in just a minute. but I just lost the one I was fishing with, and it lasted me the whole day out here. Got a lot of small bites. I figured that out because I caught a really little tiny one, and I knew there was a lot of little ones nibbling at it. But the ones that were, say, pound and a half, pound and 3/4, 2.5 pounds, they were no problem hooking. And the way I do my hook sets is I count to 2. I reel down. I go 1, 2. I keep reeling, but I lean back with my rod against that fish, and I get him hooked most every time. Sometimes I do different things with colors out here too, because with the spotted bass, like this 3/4 ounce football jig here, I put some orange, blue, and June bug on it with a green trailer. So I kind of mixed it up a little bit, and it seems to work. Today, what I used was just straight black and blue. And the trailer I used was the Z-Man Craw Z in a black and blue color. I like black and blue on a couple of occasions. One, if it's deep. If I'm out 20, 30 feet of water, I like a black and blue because I feel like it shows up really good. The other is if I'm dealing with really stained water. Now, on a 3/4 ounce, the one I used today, I used the NetBait Pocket Bug. It's one of my favorite ones. And if you notice here on this one, most that paint is chipped off. Well, you should have seen the one I lost, because I really like to throw these 3/4 ounce jigs in rocks, knowing I'm probably going to get hung up, and I did several times today. Moved my boat up, popped it out, just couldn't get it out the last time. But I want to get it down in those rocks because I want this thing making noise. So I can literally feel it with my rod. When I'm crawling this bait over the top of rocks, I can feel it. Sometimes it tricks me, makes me think I have a bite, and I set the hook and there's nothing there. But that's the feel that I want with a heavy jig. And it works out really well because it makes that noise. Nice thump, falls really fast. Sometimes that fast fall, especially in deeper water, those fish will see it coming and they'll run right over to it. You'd also be surprised how shallow I will throw this. I will throw this all the way up to the bank line. I will throw a 3/4 ounce all the way to the bank line. I might change colors. I might not use a black and blue up here. I might use something, maybe a blue or something like that. But I will throw a 3/4 ounce in the shallowest water to the deepest I can get it, and in between. Because again, it really hugs that bottom, and if it hits anything, the way they deflect, well, a football head, right? If a fumble in football, that thing goes all over the place. It's the same idea with a football head. The way it deflects, it just gives it a little bit of extra movement. And I prefer a heavier jig than a lighter when I can get away with it. So I appreciate you guys. I thank you for tuning in. There is something that I want to talk to you about real quick. Basically, I fish 2 styles of jigs. I fish a football jig, typically in the 1/2 to 3/4 ounce weights. And then I also fish ball head jigs. I like ball head jigs as well because they also, believe it or not, do some deflecting. They don't get caught up in rocks as much. And if you're fishing around grass, they come through grass a whole lot better than a football jig does. But I love my ball head jigs. I've been fishing these things for years. Usually I fish them in 1/4, 3/8, and 1/2 ounce, but mostly 3/8 and 1/2 ounce. Those are the 2 main sizes. Anyway, let me get to my point. I've ordered some stuff, and I'm going to start hand tying my own jigs. I've had people ask me if I would sell jigs to them, and of course I will, but a lot of guys don't like these banded jigs. And I've never had them slip off on me, but I know some guys have. And the thing about the band, you put them in your tackle box, and after a significant period of time, they get kind of dried up, they get chapped, and they can break real easy. So I'm going to start getting into hand tying. My question to you is, would you be interested in buying any? This is important information for me, and I'm going to tell you why. If I buy these jig heads in bulk, I get them at a lot better price. So if I buy 200 jig heads, I'm going to get them at an extra price, but I don't need 200 jig heads. So if it's something you'd be interested with or in, just leave me a comment, and I'll go ahead and sell some. Well, I appreciate you all. I'm going to wrap it up. I am thinking about going out to San Antonio on my next trip, and I might take a week or so off because I got a lot of stuff to do around the house. But I'm not going anywhere. You know, I just need a little bit of time off to get some stuff done. Thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to you next time.